This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello?
Move into our next team. I think this team has a little bit more promise now that they have a steady, established quarterback in Phillip Rivers. The Indianapolis Colts, they ranked 16th in the league last year in offense and 18th on defense. I think this defense as a whole plays a lot better than their ranking. I think that offensive line is tremendous. They made a great pick with Jonathan Taylor in the second round in this year's draft. So I've got really high hopes for this Indianapolis Colts team. Really high hopes. Jake, what's the over-under set at? You're muted.
So right now the over-under for the Colts is set at 9. It's a really tight line, and when I first did projections, I had them easily going over by a whole win. But, man, I've been having second thoughts all day today. That's why we went in this order. Colts is the second team in the division because I ended up putting the Titans at first. Can I take the easy way out and say they push and get 9 wins, or do I have to make a guess?
No, you got to make a guess. You got to do it for the clicks.
All right, then I'm going under because Phillip Rivers is washed.
No!
Did you see some of those balls he was throwing last year? Dude had Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, and Austin Eckler, and was just throwing ducks. He couldn't make it 20 yards down the field.
I don't watch loser West Coast football team.
I was only watching because I needed Mike Williams to score a touchdown. Phillip Rivers drops back to pass, like last play of the game, throws it up in the end zone, and it barely gets there. The corner is basically boxing out my receiver. Like, it was ugly.
Well, Jake, he was probably tired from having to deal with the 37 children that he has at his house. All right,
it's true, man.
But
hey,
now he's in a new situation. I mean, you guys are both Catholic, so you know that. Or you're not Catholic anymore, are you?
No.
I don't know. I'll cut all that out. Anyway, he's probably dealing with those kids, man. He's got 37 of them. So, he probably just had a rough year, but now he's in a new home. He's got this new scenery. He's got some new talent. And plus, now he can actually hand the ball off to a guy that can go between the tackles and is not asking for a bunch of money. So that he doesn't deserve. But anyway, that's a different topic for another conversation. That's another topic. But I think he's going to have a pretty productive year. I like Phillip Rivers in this offense. I think he's got some pretty good weapons, and it's probably a much better offensive line in Indianapolis than he did in Los Angeles.
Polar opposite.
Jonah?
Yeah, I think they go over here. I don't think Phillip Rivers is washed. I think he can still be an average to above average quarterback in the league, and with the supporting cast they have in Indianapolis, I mean, I think they can win 10 games. I don't think it should be that, especially with this schedule. I'm looking at it. The Colts were not good last year, so they get some easier games against the Jets, and let's see who else they get. The Raiders. So those seem like 2 wins to me. And then if they pull the 3 wins from their division, that they're already at 5 through 8 games. So, yeah, I think they can get it done.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm definitely taking the over. I like the Colts this year a lot. But, Jake, what about fantasy-wise? Who should we be looking at from the Colts in terms of fantasy football?
Man, T.Y. Hilton is a tough study because if he can stay healthy, he's the wide receiver 1 on that offense. Upgrades at quarterback, he could be a wide receiver 2. Like, he could sneak in the back there, but you really have to worry about his injury history. Paris Campbell, he's an interesting late-round wide receiver guy because there's a bunch of targets that are available. You have the increase at quarterback. They're going to be throwing more. They should be better on offense, So Paris Campbell could step up and be a late-round flyer. Michael Pittman, I like him more in Dynasty because I think once T.Y. Hilton moves on, Michael Pittman slots into that number 1 role, and he's probably going to be a stud. They have 2 tight ends that are probably going to siphon each other, Jack Doyle and Trey Burton. Maybe you take Jack Doyle as a late-round tight end. I don't know. It feels disgusting. Phillip Rivers, I guess if you believe that he's not washed, you can take him as a late-round quarterback, but he doesn't run. So Phillip Rivers is almost not useful at all in fantasy.
I'm going to take Phillip Rivers in our draft out of spite.
Hey, do it. I'll win.
You're gonna win anyway.
One less team to worry about. And then you get to the running backs. The running backs are tough because Nyheim Hines late, he's going to be the pass catching back. And I'm really worried that Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack split early down roles really early on in the season, especially if the rookies can't get up to speed fast enough. That's my biggest worry with these rookie running backs. They could be really, really useful, but they don't have the training camp to get up to speed like other rookies have every year prior. So Jonathan Taylor's probably he's getting drafted around the RB20, like RB15 to 20. And I think he could pay dividends on that at the end of the year. But early on, you might have some headaches in that backfield.
I think training camps are just going to start opening up. So I don't, maybe that won't be as big of a factor. But another IDP shout out on this team is Darius Leonard, the linebacker. I was in several IDP leagues, and so I did a lot of studying on this and looking at their snap shares and whatnot. And Darius Leonard is another one that had a high snap share and always put up a lot of points every week. So look for him if you need an IDP. But, this team maybe doesn't have the same game scripts that you see in Jacksonville, but so they'll probably be a more balanced offense defense. But still, Darius Leonard will produce from the IDP position.
Yeah, I was a real big fan of Darius Leonard. I really like his tape. I like him as a player, and he's going to be real big in fantasy, especially if like IDPs are favored heavily. So let's see. Speaking of IDPs, yep. Jonah, Jake asked me the other day the most disgusting question I think he's ever asked me. How would you feel about an all IDP dynasty league?
I'd be down with it.
Oh my God.
Well, look,
that wasn't the answer I was expecting.
I played my league at work is, and I told y'all about it, but it is structured. We have 6 IDPs, and the IDP scoring is weighted such that they matter just as much as your offensive players. Like we have like 7 offensive players counting the quarterback in our lineup, and then 6 IDPs. And like I said, the defense, like the tackles are worth so much that your IDPs matter. You'll win or lose on your IDPs. And so this is why I did so much IDP study last year, was because I really needed the help in that department. I didn't realize this, the way the scoring was going into it. I just thought we had a lot of IDPs. And then once we got into it, I was like, oh wow. So yeah, and I won that league, by the way. So
well, before I barf, let's get into the Tennessee Titans, another team that